Yes, welcome back. We are on the journey to recovery from depression. I had mentioned some 5 points ahead. Now we are on the sixth point. Uh, Meditation on what you are willing to achieve. Giving yourself some time to meditate on your goals and write them down and strategize on how you're going to work about these goals to achieve them is very vital. It's very healthy, actually, even to reviving the dead morale that had died because of the situation you are in, that situation of depression. In most cases, this depression comes because of dilemmas in life, because most of the people that I have met is when you reach your end, the dilemmas, you meet challenges that you are not able to overcome, and you cannot even handle them. So it pushes you, and you really want it to be the way you want it to be. It's like you want to move a wall and the wall is not moving. So you realize like you've come to the end of yourself. And now there, you begin to feel hopeless. You begin to feel there's no point of putting any more effort. You begin to feel like there is no reason to live again if I'm not able to do A, B, C, D, if I cannot provide for my family. I have seen many people, even men, maybe they have lost their job. They cannot even communicate to their wives that they have lost their jobs. They just keep on pretending as if they are still working. They wake up in the morning, they go out, but it's not that they are going to the office. They're just going somewhere, maybe sitting under the bridge or just in a park. They come back in the evening, and the whole family thinks that this man is still working. And so they have their demands. They demand that he's supposed to meet with ABCD these challenges, maybe pay the house rent and pay the school fees, but he's not able even to communicate that there is no job. And when the tough gets tough, this man, he reached to the end. Depression is there. So it is good to have time to meditate, and don't shy away from the challenge or from the object that has caused you this depression, or don't shy away from your problems. Face them head to head, head-on collision. Face them. Accept, yes, this is the situation that I am in. If possible, discuss it even with your family members. Let them know what you are in and what you are going through. It might bring some, maybe some disagreement, or maybe you might feel like inferior or something of that kind, but you will overcome it. It is good when they know the situation you are in, other than keep on hiding and pretending. It's very difficult to pretend or faking something that is not there. It will even worsen your situation. It will worsen your situation. Yeah. So it's good to accept, this is what I'm facing. This is what has come along, and talk about it. Talk about it with your loved ones. Let them know this is you have come. You don't know, you have come to your end, and you're just waiting now to see what next. But as for now, if it is that job, it is gone. If it is a relationship, it is broken. There is no more relationship. And the more you keep on affirming yourself of the truth, your mind and your chemistry in you will begin to cope up with the situation. Understand, this has happened. You are not the first one. You are not the first one. So be willing to have some time to meditate positively. Meditate positively, not negatively. There is a time you can meditate about a problem negatively, just wishing, oh, I wish this could be like this. I wish this could be. No. Positively. Come up with positive ideas. Now, as for today, this is where I am. And then from here, what are maybe 3 possible ways that I can maneuver, what am I supposed to do? How can I maneuver from this step? What is the next stage? Maybe I've seen some people, maybe they head alone, and the banks are owing, they are demanding their money. He owes the banks, and maybe they come and they carry everything at the place of work, in the business. Do not stay in that situation for so long. Just sit down, accept the situation. That is what has happened. I no longer own that shop now. There is nothing. Everything was taken. Maybe some of my properties were sold. I can no longer continue to educate my children in a private school. Accept it. Now from here, life has to go on. What am I supposed to do? First of all, if you are you have to lower down the standard of your living. Do not be so rigid that this is the way it has to be, and if not that one, if I cannot live like that, if my children cannot go to a certain school, no. Sit down, if possible, with your spouse. Let them know what you're going through. Let them know your limitations. And from there now, begin to tailor your life according to the standard of your life. Do not let that problem kill you down. Do not let that problem cause you to wish like, it's better you die or something of that kind. That's why we have seen people, killing their children, killing their spouses. They don't want to discuss the real problem with them. The real problem is not those people. Most of these people, you hear that they have done something. Maybe they have killed the entire family plus the children. The real problem is not that. There is another cause that they are trying to run away from. They are trying to run away from a certain truth that they have not shared with their people. Maybe your spouse is not aware of certain things that you are going through. They don't know. So they keep on demanding what they're demanding, thinking that life is just the way it was. And now because you are angry, remember I said some of the symptoms, especially in men, to know that this person is in depression is violence. They get violent. Why do men get violent? Contrary to women, because they don't want to express their state, the state they are in, because they fear to be looked down upon. But at the same time, they are angry because maybe they are not able to provide the way they used to. They are not able to step in and be the husband or the father they used to. They want to maintain the same standard, yet maybe something has gone down or maybe something has collapsed. Now, what comes out is violent. When they are being triggered with something very small, they become very violent. And now we begin to see some acts that are not really good. They are not really good. So be willing to sit down and try to meditate and to see from this, where do I go to? Where do I go? From this, what am I supposed to do? And again is that stay in a clean environment with good air circulation. Make sure the environment where you are. Some people, they when they're in depression, they lock themselves in a room. They do not take shower. They don't clean the place. They are just there. The place is too dirty. The place is horrible. There is no fresh air. It is important for your thinking. It is important for you even to maintain a good and a clean and a conducive environment. It's good for your brain. It's good even for your health. And it will help you also to revive or to rejuvenate quickly. I say it again, be patient with yourself. It matters with the level of this depression. So be patient with yourself. As long as you are keeping on working on yourself positively. Maybe you are seeing a therapist. Maybe you have seen a counselor, maybe in the church. Maybe you have a friend who is helping you to get along in this journey. A friend that you can share your heart and your challenges with, a confidential friend. Maybe he's your spiritual leader. Maybe he's a family member. Maybe your spouse. But most people, I don't know why, but they don't like sharing with their spouses. I don't know why. If he is a lady, you realize that she would prefer maybe to share with another person, not the spouse, because they fear criticism and being looked down upon. If it is a man also, you realize they could be going very tough situations. We pastors, we know that maybe the man has a very heavy debt he's paying, but he cannot share even with his wife. He cannot share even with his children. He's just going through these things. He prefers to share with other people, but that's okay. As long as you have a point, you have a connection, a connection that you are not carrying this burden alone. There's somewhere you can go and share. It's okay where you are comfortable. Maybe at home there could be a lot of critics, and those critics are very negative. You don't need them at such a time. So be patient with yourself and avoid triggers to anger. Any conversation that could trigger you to anger, that could trigger you to, violence, avoid it at all costs. For your own good, also for the good of the people that you live with. Because when you are going through depression, your mind is not in the normal state. So something very small can trigger violence, and henceforth it can cause even death or injuries, permanent injuries or things that could end up someone's life, which is not good. So do not isolate yourself. Hashtag do not isolate yourself. Maintain social connections to the people, someone or maybe someone who understands you and who is very positive towards you, helping you to recover. In thoughts of social, in these matters of social, in terms of thoughts of suicidal, every time maybe that episode of suicidal thoughts, or maybe some thoughts of wanting to run away and go very far. Sometimes it begins like that. Let me just get away from these people. No one will know where I have gone. I will switch off all the phones. I will do what. So in such cases, approach very quickly for professional help, or a trusted member of the family, or a spiritual leader. Most people, they call me, mostly women, they call me and they tell me, Reverend, I just want to go somewhere where nobody will know where I am. I will switch off my phones, but I just want to let you know, and that's good. That's good. Yes, I keep their confidentiality, but when the members, maybe they ask me, I just tell them she's somewhere, she's okay, she's doing good, but let her have some time. But I make sure somebody is visiting them just to see how they are getting along. Because when they begin with, like, I want to go very far, the next thought is that I'm tired. Because where they are going, they realize maybe they cannot stay for long, or maybe it's a place that they are not accepted there. So the suicidal thoughts come along now. So in such a period when such thoughts come along you, seek for help. Talk to your spiritual leader. Talk to maybe a professional or a friend. Don't just go and let know that nobody knows where you have gone. You have not told anyone where you have gone. You have just decided something has triggered you, and you just decide, I want to get away. I want to, I just want to get out of this place, and nobody will ever know where I went. Please share with someone you trust. Could be your spiritual leader, could be a close relative, or a professional. And then we are just nearing to the end. As I said, face your fears. Do not run away from your fears. Face them once and for all. Face them, discuss them with the relevant people, those who are supportive, and avoid running away from them. When you begin facing them, you realize that step by step you overcome your fears. Step by step, you have a clue or an idea of how to maneuver and how to get these things behind you and to move on with your life. Other than just covering, I lost that job and that's all. That's all. What is it more for me to live? I failed that examination, so that's all. What is it more now for me to live? Or maybe I'm not able to pay that loan now. Let them do what they want. No, face your giants. See how you can talk about it and how you can begin to make one step at a time to overcome the challenge and the giant in your life. So again, now is that you take steps also to control your stress. Increase your reliance and boost your self-esteem. It's good also to talk to yourself and give yourself confidence and tell yourself you'll get over this. You'll get over it. Doesn't matter how tough it is. You're not the first one to be in this. Neither will you be the last one. I mean, build up your self-esteem. Sometimes when you wait for people to come and build up your self-esteem, it might take too long, and sometimes it's not possible. People, they blame you maybe for whatever you're going through. They say, we talked to you, we warned you, you know, blah, blah, blah. So be your own booster. And purpose that I'll come out of it, I'll get out of it. Talk to yourself. David did it in Psalms 103. David did it. He said, bless the Lord, O my soul, and everything that is within me. Yes, it means that everything that was within David could not see any reason to bless the Lord because of the challenges that he was going through. Maybe that was the season when he was hiding from Saul. Maybe that is the season when he had come to his end, you know, because there is a time they lost everything in the battle, and even his men wanted to stone him. So David told himself, he was speaking to himself, bless the Lord, O my soul, and everything that is within me. He who rescues you from the grave, he who heals you from sicknesses and diseases. If God has preserved your life upon the challenges that maybe have caused you to be in that state of depression, if God has saved your life and the Lord has given you a shelter, the same God will see you overcome. The same God will fight for you. Life is more precious than material things. That's what Jesus said. He said, with everything that you have, you cannot even add a strand of your hair. Just a strand of your hair. You can't add. You can't make it grow. It's the Lord who does. So, if that is so, then just trust the Lord and boost up your self-esteem and declare that you will overcome and you will come out of it. The last one, and it's not the least, is that consider also to have a long-term maintenance plan on your recovery way. As you recover, it is good to have a long-term maintenance plan that will maintain you not to go back to the same state. So maybe the challenges that caused you to be in that state, some of these challenges, we cannot avoid them. Some of them, maybe it could be a loss of a loved one. Some of the challenges, it could be terminal diseases, you know. Maybe it was not in your control. Some of it is sometimes you find yourself alone, and you're not used to be alone, and now you find yourself, maybe you are alone in another nation or another country. Nowadays people go far, even to work far, and you realize that you are not used to that. You're not used to that situation, and it's like the routine is just one. You go to work, you come back in the evening, you're just alone in the house, and you know, you miss your family. You do what? You can't see them maybe in 1 year, 2 years, and before you know, you realize you are depressed. It's good to have a long-term maintenance plan. What will I do? Maybe in terms of loneliness due to distance from the family members, you can begin to have the Zoom meetings. That is what most families do who are scattered. They organize a family group, a Zoom meeting, and they decide maybe every week during the weekend on such and such a time, we connect all of us in the internet. We connect all of us, we talk to one another. Maybe, you know, we share We share how was our days and everything, because that one also is another cause that is causing most people to be depressed. They are very busy working, earning money, but very lonely. They are in the midst of very many people, but so lonely. They are very lonely. They were not used to it. They were not used to be away from their family members, away from their loved ones. So they could be surrounded with other people, friends, but still that one in them, they just feel like, no, this is not like it. And before they know, they get into depression. They have no taste of anything. They have no taste of life, no taste of money, no taste of what. So it's good to build and consider a long-term maintenance plan. And if it is in such a case of maybe distance, you have been separated from your loved ones, and maybe it is because of work or something of that kind, or your loved ones, they have left you, they have gone to work far, and you are alone, and you realize that this one is pushing you to the edge, and probably you sense those symptoms of depression, the ones that I said. It's good to work on those long-term plans to maintain yourself. In cases of maybe diseases, you realize that you are diagnosed with a disease, and the don'ts and do's of the doctor, they are so hard to cope up with. You are used to a simple, lifestyle. Now maybe the doctor demands you must not eat this, you must not do this, you must not do that. In such cases also, it's good to have a long-term plan. How am I going to cope up with this? Sometimes the family members, they assist. I have seen very many people, they get counseling from the doctors, they assist. If it is in terms of the diet, the family, sometimes they decide to sacrifice. This is the diet we will be cooking like this for the sake of our loved ones, so that they don't feel like nothing is left for them. And they encourage them. Also, talking to the people who are going through the same challenge, it helps. It helps a lot. So for today, I think we will reach there, and maybe the next episode I will be handling about drugs addiction in teenagers, and how to know whether that this teenage is on drugs. And if you are a teenage, we will discuss how to come out of it. And also we will have to discuss some various steps on how teenage girls and boys are being gotten into drugs, and how you can avoid that. Prevention is always better than cure. And if you are already in drugs, how can you manage your way out of drugs? And also, how can you put long-term measures, goals, to help you abstain from the drugs in the near future? Thank you very much, and God bless you. And I will urge you on your own time, go through that psalm that I just quoted, Psalms 103, and you see how David was encouraging himself in the Lord, and he got delighted. I believe David was also running away from being overwhelmed by these circumstances that were surrounding him. Also, Paul told us in Philippians 4, verse 4, rejoice, and again I rejoice. I said it in the last episode, when Paul was writing this, that scripture, the book of Philippians, he was in a Roman jail, which were very toxic. They were built underneath houses, and there underneath there were cisterns of sewage that was passing through. So the place was full of bad odor, and it was wet, and it was dark. It was dark. But inside that situation and circumstance, still he said, rejoice, and again I say rejoice, which means that we are not supposed to open up the door for sorrow and the grievance because of our circumstances. Let the joy come from within us, just knowing that we have a permanent position and place in the Lord as our personal Savior, as our friend who will never leave us nor forsake us no matter what. He is our friend even unto eternity. May the Lord bless you and have a good time. Thank you very much.